leaves, the dry leaves, the green leaves, the young leaves, the thorns, the flowers, the buds, the stem, then how can there be disharmony? Everything has a purpose. The thorns, someone may say the thorns are against the flower. And someone else, man of awareness, will say the thorns are the protection for the flower. Thorns protect the flower. The plant, everything, the leaves, the thorns, the stem, has given the opportunity to the bud to blossom. And in that, the credit goes on. Although the flower will be picked up, but the plant, the stem remains the source that continues to generate the flowers. If you remove the stem, if you remove the branches, then the flowers will not grow. It sustains the flowers, and yet still it remains invisible. It is the soul of the flower that brings out everyday new flowers, but it remains insignificant. It is the flower is the expression of the plant. Flower is the expression of the truth, expression of the beauty that the plant has preserved within its womb. When a mystic preserves the beauty, the innocence within his womb, and it expresses itself in the form of words, it becomes a scripture. The flower is the scripture of the plants. A rose flower, this is why the flower appeals to everyone. It creates a stir within the heart of the human being. This is the beauty of the scriptures. And this is so beautifully put. So too, when you look at the world and its phenomena, its duality, not with the eyes of the duality of the mind, divided between thorn and flower. Instead, thorn and flower, they are always in harmony with one another. There is no conflict. There is no conflict between the thorn and the flower. There is no conflict between day and night. There is no conflict between morning and evening. Everything happens in this harmony. It goes on in an harmony. But for the mind, it is a conflict. So too, when you look at the world and its phenomena with the vision of the soul, only then the hate will vanish from your heart. It is only the ignorant one who focus on the body, not the wise. Ashtavakra continues. Hearing these words, the king desired for awareness or the knowledge of the self. Janak requested the sage to visit his palace and thus initiate the process of inward journey for him. Janak is fully writing to understand the words of Ashtavakra. So while Ashtavakra is expressing the ultimate truth in these words, the spark hits the target in Janak and brings the realization of the ultimate. And it is for the first time in his life that he can fully see and realize the same as all the sages over the times have realized. Therefore, he listens with a completely open mind. His attitude, his entire being was open, ready to receive as the mouth of whosoever has not eaten anything in months. You have heard it is said that there you not only breathe through the nostrils, but you breathe through the skins and the other parts of the body. Listening happens through the entire being of the person. Knowledge comes through the door of the mind. Remember these words. Knowledge comes through the door of the mind, and awareness descends through the door of the heart. Heart is the way to the inner and bliss. Janak has decided to take upon a master. He was learned. He had gathered all that could be known, but no awareness. Announcement. Janak makes an announcement that the king is seeking knowledge. His ego continued. He was the king and authority. It was announced that on a particular day, this is the important story how Janak accepted Ashtavakra as his master, and then the journey of the inwardness began. And the Ashtavakra Gita is the outcome of that. The condition set by the king was not difficult but impossible as well. There were two conditions, that it should be done between sunrise and sunset, and secondly the knowledge should come to him in the time that one takes in carrying foot from one side to another while attempting to ride the horse. In Hindi, the time is, that it takes from moving foot from one rakat to the other, from one side of the horse's steed to the other side. And when you move the feet from one side of the steed to the other, only then the process of sitting on the horseback can be completed. On the appointed day, there was a huge gathering of the saints and sages in his palace. So, in front of the congregation, Janak confirmed of his aspiration and announced of his sankalp, the promise, his desire. He also announced that if one fails in doing so, the person should be slain. Fear of death always envelops the fake one. Time was passing and no one dared to accept the challenge of the king. Janak addressed the entire congregation, and the ego rebuked the congregation, saying it seems that the earth is bereft of the learned ones who could give him the taste of truth. Amidst the crowd was an 8-year-old boy curbed at 8 places along with his mother. His name was Ashtavakra. When the mother heard of this, she asked her son to get up and fulfill the will of Janak and give him the awareness, taste of awareness. Hearing the words of his mother, Ashtavakra first paid the respect to the mother, then to the assembled sages. Having done so, he addressed Janak and asked him to continue with his sankalp. Janak saw a boy with 8 curbs, a symbol of laughter. He addressed the entire congregation and reminded everyone